You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
We love bad movies. There's just something about watching an absolute train wreck of an artistic endeavor that someone poured their heart and soul into. Making fun of these movies with a group of friends and snacks, having a good time is one of the most fun things you can do. Unless it's your movie. Now, you watching this might have thought to yourself once before, I have this amazing idea for this film, and I'm so excited, and you go out there and you make it, and then you finish it, and you're pretty underwhelmed with the end product. You're kind of bummed out. Well, not to worry, because you and I are going to be breaking down some of the best, worst movie scenes in the world, and we're going to break them down and see what went wrong and how we can avoid those mistakes, and hopefully have a laugh along the way. Scene 1. Flower shop scene from The Room by Tommy Wiseau.
Hi.
Can I help you?
Yeah, can I have a dozen red roses, please?
Oh, hi, Johnny. I didn't know it was you. Here you go.
That's me. How much is it?
It'll be $18.
Here you go. Keep the change. Hi, doggy.
You're my favorite customer.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, there is a ton to break down here, but I want to focus on one core philosophy that I think lies at the center of all of the scene's problems. Time pressure. Time, rhythm, and editing. The dominant, all-powerful factor of the film image is rhythm, expressing the course of time within the frame. Also made clear in the character's behavior, the visual treatment, and sounds. So now let's look and observe the scene. Clearly, timing was not thought about in this scene at all. The performances were kind of just read and shot, and the cameras didn't have a time and place to be anywhere. They were just shooting from the hip. And sometimes you do need to shoot from the hip, and you want to shoot from the hip, but you got to know how to do that, and at least have some thought of how and where the camera's going to be placed in accordance to all the other clips you're going to have, and the time pressure within that scene, that clip, that individual shot. Again, none of that was considered here. And this isn't something you can fix in the edit. As Tarkovsky says, the time pressure, the pacing, is not in the edit. It's not in the montage. It is in the actual film strip itself. Next time when you're on set, think about time pressure. Think about the pacing of the scene and of the individual shot as you're filming it. You might think that you could edit it in post, but in reality, you're just assembling two pieces of time together in the edit. But the actual time pressure lies within the shot individually. Scene 2, Fateful Findings by Neil Breen. Robert McKee says in his book Story, witnessing the inciting incident projects an image of the obligatory scene into the audience's imagination. The obligatory scene is an event the audience knows it must see before the story can end. This scene will bring the protagonist into confrontation with the most powerful forces of antagonism on his quest. So we're going to break down the entire film as a whole piece. There's not a lot of successful setups throughout the film. You're kind of dragged through exposition scene.
Allie's been sneaking over to Dylan and Emily's house and jumping in their swimming pool.
By exposition scene.
How could you have done this? How could you have committed suicide?
By exposition scene. And then after about an hour and a half or so, you reach the climax of the film, where you are first introduced to the antagonists, and they just, spoiler alert, all kill themselves.
Goodbye.
So there's no meaningful setup, and so when you finally have the antagonists losing, you're seeing them and being introduced to who these antagonists really are as they lose. And it's just a really weird and then syndrome. That's what this film suffers from. This happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. That's what this is. It makes it really fun and hilarious to watch. You're just dragged through exposition and exposition of trope after trope after trope. And it's just really, really funny to kind of see all that come together. But the story is very dull. It's kind of just doesn't make sense. There's a scene at the end where Neil, his character, is sort of hacked into government secrets. That's the most that we know about what he does. And he's going to expose the government and corporate secrets, and he's telling it to the news. And then there's a sniper that takes aim at him. We don't know who the sniper is. We don't know where he comes from. He's never established. We don't know what the sniper's intentions are, who that sniper represents.
You will be shocked and amazed at what I have here.
And then the sniper gets shot and killed just before he pulls the trigger. We don't know who's on Neil's side watching over him. The sniper just dies, and then we move on, and then it never comes up again. Oh God, it's such... There was no clear inciting incident in this story, and the climax, or the obligatory scene, was created out of thin air, resulting in an over-reliance of cheesy, generic tropes. One thing you can do to prevent yourself from writing a dull, generic story like this is to just throw away the idea that you are going to produce the script that you are writing, that you're going to make it into a film, and just throw that idea away. Take off the director hat, take off the producer hat, and just leave the screenwriter hat on and only think about your script, as if that is the final piece. You are not going to take it any further. When you no longer think about writing the script as a means to an end, which is to produce the script into a film, you start to focus a lot on what is at the core of your story. Do you really know what you're trying to say? You can't fix the thing after you move on to the next phase. Filmmaking happens in phases, and you need to treat every single phase with the utmost respect. It's good that you can do all of these things, but when you are in the phase of writing, you need to not think as much about the other things you're gonna do in the future or the things that you've done before. You need to make sure that you finish the screenplay process and you make it complete so that when you move on to the next, you're not polishing a turd or going back trying to fix things. The script is the blueprint, the foundation, the backbone of a good film. You just write the script and make it as good as possible. Don't think about making the movie anytime soon while you're writing your script.
I'm feeling less stable.
So stupid. God. Stupid goddamn life. That's my movie. Why is that my movie?
But that was long ago, before we committed ourselves to staying safe together.
Welcome to Leaving Wishville Behind the Scenes. This is day one. We are filming our beach scenes, the night shots, and we're wrapped for the morning. This is the script and film first day of the
Okay.
Think of it like a verbal, like dab on the side kind of thing that Joey does.
Cherry?
Give me a break. No, give me a break. Leave me alone. It's all I had.
That's our opening shot.
Look at the script.
Like Joey wrote the script. You're really a mess. Have beans. And you're cooking.
Oh, is it really that bad? Ugh.
We shot what we needed and we wrapped that up.
You should tell me everything.
I can't talk right now.
Why, Lisa? Why, Lisa? Please talk to me, please. You're part of my life. You are everything. I could not go on without you, Lisa.
You're scaring me.
You are lying. I never hit you. You are
You're
tearing me
tearing me
apart,
apart,
Lisa.
Why are you so hysterical?
Do you understand why?
God, at least my films aren't this bad.
It seems to me like you're an expert, Mark.
No, definitely not an expert, Johnny.
What's bothering you, Mark?
Nothing, man.
Do you have some secret?
Forget it.
Why don't you tell
Why?
me?
Forget
Come
it,
on.
dude.
This is some secret.
No, forget it. I'll talk to you later.
Well, whatever.
to do this. This is insane. You think that's insane?
That's what I'm showing you though.
Dude, you okay?
Hitchcock says that every cut needs to have a very specific intention to tell a story, and I need to see every single last cut in my entire career that doesn't follow that quality.
You gotta stop.
I'm trying to I'd figure out why.
It was a lot of fun. It was just me and some of my old internet friends, as well as some of my new internet friends that I hadn't met before, teaming up to work on something really awesome and fun. We were actually there. We were making the short film.
I spent the past year working alongside some of the largest television sets in the world, working alongside some of the greatest talent Hollywood has to offer in directing. And from that, I've learned a lot. And now the more that I watch these projects of mine and basically perform autopsies, I start to see a lot of the cracks in my filmmaking and my process. But seeing all the footage and the behind the scenes especially made me realize that these aren't wasted endeavors. I learned what caused certain failures in my directorial artistic expression, but I also enjoyed my time making something with my friends. We shared laughs and struggles and triumphs, and there were triumphs in our filmmaking. As much as I look at my previous film and I gut it like a fish, I remember why I made the film in the first place. I fell in love with the source material and specifically the setting and atmosphere that I felt when I read it, and I set out to make this short film with that as my primary goal, to get that feeling across. And I still look at it and think, yeah, I accomplished that goal. I mean, obviously I can do it way better now, but I still feel that it holds up in the realm of atmosphere, in the realm of tone and setting. But I also learned from that what I wasn't paying attention to and what I should be paying attention to going forward in my filmmaking career. So now I have a sense of what my philosophy and my approach was that worked, and the part of my approach that needs to be more clearly defined and actively thought upon. And taking these lessons and applying them to some tests and experiments over the next year in preparation for my next big production is the greatest thing that could have happened. It's fun to laugh at the miserable attempts of all of these bad filmmakers, but the more I really think, these attempts aren't exactly miserable. They're bold. They're brave leaps into exploring an idea to its end. And that's something we can all learn from. Sure, you just might make something so bad you add to this strange subgenre of films, but at least you had a good time aiming your efforts at that thing, and you were able to share that experience with others. And that is a reward far greater than commercial success for a project you don't really care all that much about. There's tons of filmmakers out there like that. Trust me, I've seen them. So go out there, make your voice heard, and who knows, you just might make an entire theater roar in laughter.
How often do you think Hitchcock got a response like this? Never.